I'm here at SuperCom 2009 in Chicago, and I'm speaking with two representatives from DSM Desotech. First is Robert Crowell, who's the VP of Fiber Optic Materials, and also Steve Schmid, who is the R&D Director for the company. Robert, could you give me an overview of what your company does, please?
Sure. We make a very critical component in the manufacture of optical fiber, the coatings. We've been in this business for over 40 years developing new technologies for UV curable technologies on optical fiber. We've introduced new technologies which we call DeSolite super coatings. This is a very special material that over half of the global market has converted to in 2009, and we think it's very important in terms of future-proofing the networks, especially for very high bandwidth applications in the sensitive areas of optical fiber for high-definition television and IPTV.
Excellent. So, Steve, we talked a little bit earlier about the changes in temperature and how they affect the performance of optical fibers. Could you tell me a little bit about your experience, and that's based on how your products are dealing with temperature fluctuations?
Sure. What we've noticed in the development of our newest generation coatings, DeSolite super coatings, is that they perform very well under extreme conditions. We've temperature cycled them between plus 80 degrees C and minus 60 degrees C to see what kind of impact that has on microbending sensitivity. And we found that even at extreme wavelengths of 1625, which we believe are going to be the wavelengths for the IPTV and video applications of the future, that they are very insensitive to the changes in temperature. And that means you get a flat line response in terms of dB per kilometer across the video or the wavelength spectrum from 1300 all the way up to 1625 nanometers, which is a very desirable thing. So what we're trying to do now is network with people in the industry to adopt a new type of standard that will take this into account and will deliver the performance for the future in networks that are deployed today. We've partnered with Telcordia to bring this to the forefront of the TIA. We're looking for a new fiber optic test procedure, and we're hoping for successful balloting in the February timeframe.
Fantastic. Now, why would companies want to choose DeSolite as a coating for their fibers? Give me some of the other benefits, or just a laundry list of all the benefits.
Okay, our DeSolite super coatings are very high-speed curing coatings. This means that even on any tower that a customer might apply our super coatings, whatever speed that they're running at, they will perform virtually the same. And that's very important because other coatings systems have shown a tendency to drop off in terms of their performance properties with speed. And what we've engineered our coatings to do is have very high performance and even in the highest drawing speeds. So once you get that applied properly to the fiber will be long-lived in the network for 25, 30 years.
And how does that relate to other types of coatings in general? How long do they last typically?
Well, coatings can last a long time, but what happens is they deteriorate in their properties. They're not always consistent in the modulus, the glass transition temperature, things like that. And basically, over time, they can wear down a little bit and lead to light loss in the fiber.
I've seen a number of equipment manufacturers and carriers actually have to upgrade equipment on both sides or on multiple sides of the network, multiple portions of the network, because of the challenges they have with their fiber in the ground over the years. So the theory is, I guess, and you can back this up, that you can actually have to deal with that sort of problem less often if you have the right kind of coating.
That is correct. That is exactly what we're trying to engineer for the fiber optic network providers.
Now, Robert, what's going to happen in the future for your company? What's your direction, and what are some of the things we can expect from you going forward?
I think super coatings is going to be the critical focus of our activities for the next several years. There's a lot of awareness that we want to be able to bring to the industry, particularly in the third world countries. We see now that China finally supersedes all other countries in terms of optical fiber demand, and they are the furthest behind in terms of specifications. Here in the West, you see much more of an expectation between 20 and 30 years for the life of the fiber. There, many of the companies will operate with 10-year operating plans because they know the fiber won't last. So we're very intent on making sure that the market is aware not only at our customer level, but at all telecom levels and network owners. It's a very important investment that's being laid into the ground, and it's important to make sure that those technologies are able to make sure that the investment is spent wisely. We will continue to promote this technology and begin to work on what will be the next technologies for even higher bandwidth requirements. But we feel with what we have today, we already are leaps and bounds ahead of what the competition can deliver.
Well, that's great, gentlemen. Thank you so much for speaking with me today. It was a pleasure to learn about your coatings and just some of the challenges and opportunities in the fiber space.